the USS Carl Vinson, one of America's supercarriers, and right now the tip of the spear in the air campaign against Islamic State. This is American power.
This is American power at its finest.
From the middle of the Gulf, they fly bombing campaigns over Iraq and Syria, day and night.
Our men and women are the best of the world. They're the best.
As the Americans would say, it's 24/7.
There isn't any peace on board a warship at war.
Are you aware of your operational...
It's early morning. Up in the flight control room, the man they know as the mini-boss is overseeing the return of fighter jets from their overnight missions.
During the day, it's a very standardized recovery, as long as it's good weather. And the aircraft will just hold overhead at certain altitudes, depending on which aircraft type they are. Hornets are lower, and then Rhinos, then the Grizzlies, and then the E-2s are up high, and then the tankers above them. And in a perfect world, we don't have to say anything. So as soon as we turn into the wind, they come, they break the deck, and then they're into the landing pattern. So we launch them, they go somewhere, they do a mission, and then they come back to us, and then we take them from there.
3 floors below, at deck level, Lieutenant Commander Oscar Flores' job is to park the jets once they've landed.
So yeah, it's a big coordination, it's a big teamwork. That's basically what it is. For example, this one, the ordnance guys are requesting that they have to either upload the weapons or download them. So they call it in, and I just got to move them so he can get that wing spread so he doesn't hit anything. So
as the ship's flight deck officer, he must move the planes on and off the runway safely and quickly, using cardboard cutouts.
Now this technology is World War II. It's old. We are getting the modern one, which is going to be all computerized. So this right here, but this is a proven. It's reliable. I know exactly where every aircraft is at.
Every job on the Carl Vinson requires this sort of precision and skill. No more so, of course, than from the pilots landing at speed onto a moving ship. It is one of the most dangerous things they will do. At night time, even more so. The pilots describe it as a controlled crash landing.
The landing area is angled to the left. It's like 7 degrees or 7 degrees to the left. So when the ship is going forward, when we're out there, the planes are coming in so fast, it actually looks like they're coming in straight, but the pilots have to adjust themselves always to the left. Our naval aviators are trained that once they grab, they have to step on the gas, so they throttle it up. Because if they miss the cable, they have to have enough power to go around.
That mentality of being the best pervades all 5,000 men and women who serve on this ship. Some might think it's arrogant, but at a time of war, it is the self-confidence they need to do their job.
Part of the role of the chaplain is to help people understand that whatever their place is, we're all part of one effort. That their connection to the business at hand is albeit indirect, is nevertheless very significant on the one hand, and also to help them understand what it means to be a human being engaged in warfare.
The Carl Vinson is one of the largest warships in the world. She is nuclear powered, so can, in theory at least, stay at sea without needing to return to port to refuel. But every so often, a resupply ship comes alongside. It's the human crew that need replenishing, food and general stocks. And of course, with an air campaign in full swing, missiles and bombs must be replaced. They are stored down here, in an area below deck, nicknamed the Bomb Farm. It's the ship's arsenal.
So their GPS antenna, which is connected to the aircraft. Aircraft feeds the coordinates to where it's going, all right, and it will direct it wherever it needs to go. On a good day, on a bad day, if we can't see where we're going, then over here we have, this is our our Doppler radar / laser guidance system. Okay, this is called our DSU-38. The difference between our GBU-54 and our GBU-38, which is right over here, is this one is not laser guided. It also has the GPS capability, which we get our coordinates also from the aircraft. Okay, and this one is just a hard target penetrator. It doesn't have any laser guidance system. But this is our #1 weapon that we use out here right now.
When they're all at home, there are 65 fighter jets on board. During busy periods, planes are taking off and landing every 45 seconds. On the side of each one, a visual tally of the job at hand, a record of the bombs dropped. As the ship prepares for the afternoon, everyone on deck gathers for a slow walk along the runway. Eyes down, no talking. They're checking for any debris that might get sucked up into the jet engines. In typical armed forces fashion, what we might call rubbish, the military call FOD, an acronym for Foreign Object Debris. They take this daily ritual very seriously indeed. The pilots, briefed, suited and ready, head out to their aircraft, mostly in silence.
So Matt, what's the mission?
What's up?
What was the mission be?
Oh, today's mission would be we're going to be supporting close air support over Iraq. Our air wing is going to fly approximately 15 missions today in support of the Land Component Commander.
Any direct targets?
No direct targets today. We're always on call for close air support as directed by the Joint Terminal Air Controllers.
Iraq, Syria, or mixture of the both?
Today's missions are primarily in Iraq, but we're always ready to support operations in both Iraq and Syria if necessary.
Captain Matt Leahy and his colleagues fly in pairs. Each mission lasts on average 6 hours. They might refuel mid-air 3 or 4 times during that period.
More than a third of the airstrikes carried out in the campaign against Islamic State are by fighter jets on this aircraft carrier. Since they arrived in the Gulf in October, they've flown more than 2,000 sorties and dropped more than 700 bombs.
Well, obviously the pilots take videos every time they launch missiles so we can check for battle damage assessment. I get a chance to view those videos as well, and I would tell you that bombs versus ISIL fighters is not a fair fight.
You're killing them.
Well, we're doing our job, which is to come up here and eliminate ISIS and to tilt the balance of power.
Over the course of the campaign, we have destroyed many vehicles, tanks, artillery pieces, fighting positions, training camps. We've killed their fighters, we've killed their leadership. We've eliminated vast sources of revenue in the form of Gulf gasoline and fuel oil that they've been selling to resource themselves. And because of that, they are now no longer able to mass, to maneuver, to command and control, to protect their own strategic lines of communication.
At times, we're little more than 30 or 40 miles off the coast of Iran. So close, in fact, that for a few hours one morning, an Iranian Coast Guard vessel follows at safe distance. The two countries have an uneasy relationship, but in Islamic State, a common enemy.
How have you found flying alongside, or at least in the same space as the Iranians?
Not something I'm worried about.
But it's been smooth?
It has. But of course, that's not to imply that we coordinate with them at all.
Is there any kind of communication?
No. No.
On the 2nd of May 2011, the USS Carl Vinson's place in American legend was guaranteed. Just before dawn, the body of Osama bin Laden was secretly flown on board. He'd been killed hours earlier by US Navy SEALs in Pakistan. In a 50-minute ceremony at noon, the Al-Qaeda leader was buried at sea, somewhere in the Gulf, not so far from where the ship sails today. Few on board knew anything about it.
They just said we had a guest. We don't have a guest anymore, and that's about it. And then once we got back from deployment, you know, story went out. We heard on the news, yes, this is the person we had on board, and you know, they did the burial, see everything according to the news, and that was about it.
Nightfall. The Carl Vinson dims into a red glow, so the ship is almost undetectable to anyone else sailing nearby. This has been a long deployment for all on board, and an unexpectedly intense one.
Just gotta do the job first. Knock it out. Play after.
They'll be back home in around 2.5 months' time. But for now, back up on deck, a fresh wave of aircraft start their engines and begin pre-flight checks. They're catapulted into the dark, unsure of what the night holds for them. We count 20 take off. They'll be back by dawn, another mission complete, another day in this slow war against Islamic State.